Hey everybody, today I'm going to review Joker, the 2019 film starring Joaquin Phoenix. There is no doubt that the Joker is one of the greatest villains in the DC Comics. Much like in the comics, Joker is known to be Batman's number one enemy in every movies, TV shows, video games, and cartoons. So when I heard that the Joker is going to have his own movie, I became very interested, even though Batman will not have anything to do with that film. It is very interesting that we are now living in an era when the entertainment business has decided to make more movies about villains or anti-heroes rather than just focusing on the heroes. This will be the first DC movie since the Dark Knight trilogy not to be part of the DC Extended Universe, and also the first DC film since Watchmen to be rated R. Although I am aware with the controversy surrounding the new Joker film, especially I heard the news that Joker will not be shown in Aurora, Colorado due to that horrible gun shooting incident at the movie theater during the midnight showing of The Dark Knight Rises back in 2012. I saw it and I think this new Joker movie is great. One of the most controversial yet nice looking films I had ever seen, and I'm going to tell you why I think this way without any spoilers. The story of this film is basically an origin story set during the 1980s in Gotham City. It's about a man named Arthur Flick who has been living in the apartment with his mother and takes care of her that failed to be a stand-up comedian because he has mental disorder which causes him to laugh at inappropriate times. When things have gone much worse for Arthur, he became much crazier and painted his face into a clown makeup. He has turned his life into a criminal and wants to bring chaos in Gotham City. I find the story of this film to be pretty good. Though there are some parts in this film that did drag on, there are also some funny moments, darker moments, disturbing moments, and unexpected moments as well. Unlike most films I have seen based on the DC Comics, this DC film is more of a psychological thriller and felt more original, even though there are some elements inspired by the graphic novel, Batman the Killing Joke. I also noticed that there are some parts in this film similar to both Martin Scorsese's Taxi Driver and Stanley Kubrick's A Clockwork Orange. The special effects in this film are very good and creative. Though this Joker movie had a budget of $55 million, I can definitely tell that the filmmakers have used some CGI, practical effects, and stunts at the same time. Unlike Gotham City in the previous Batman projects, Gotham City in this film is more brutal, mean-spirited, dirty, and pretty much looks like a bad neighborhood, especially it has too much crimes, unemployment, riots, and protesters. Even though Gotham City in the Dark Knight trilogy is a lot more realistic, Gotham City in this Joker film is even more realistic. I feel like this version of Gotham City is pretty much similar to the city Detroit from the movie 8 Mile. The makeups in this film are very well done. The violence in this film is so graphic and disturbing to look at. There are definitely too much killing, beating, and blood in this film. Now for the acting, directing, and music. Let's start with Arthur Flick, the Joker, played by Joaquin Phoenix, the younger brother of the late River Phoenix, who is best known for roles like the evil Emperor Commodus in Gladiator, Muriel in M. Night Shyamalan's Signs, Johnny Cash in Walk the Line, Freddy in The Master, and Theodore in Her. Oh my goodness, he did an amazing job playing that Joker, who in this film is a failed stand-up comedian who turns his life of crime that is mentally ill, often being abused by society throughout his life, and couldn't stop laughing. While I still love Jack Nicholson playing the Joker in Tim Burton's Batman, and Mark Hamill doing the voice of the Joker in Batman the Animated Series, I will say this, that in my opinion, Joaquin Phoenix is the second best Joker after the late Heath Ledger. He definitely did a better job than Jared Leto, although I still think Jared Leto did a fine job as the Joker in Suicide Squad, but the problem is that he didn't have much screen time in that film. Then there's Murray Franklin, played by Robert De Niro. Murray Franklin is a late-night talk show host who plays a role in Arthur's downfall. Daenerys' performance as that character was actually paying homage to his own character from The King of Comedy, another film directed by Martin Scorsese. It is very interesting to see that this is the first time Robert De Niro is in a movie based on a comic book. After all, Robert De Niro is known for playing gangsters, criminals, CIA, a taxi driver turned vigilante, a boxer, a deer hunter turned soldier in the Vietnam War, a firefighter, a police, a father-in-law to Ben Stiller's character, and even a Frankenstein monster! Also appearing in this film is Penny Flick, played by Frances Conroy, who is from the TV show American Horror Story, Sophie Dumont, played by Zazie Beetz, and Thomas Wayne, played by Brent Cullen. Penny Flick is Arthur's mentally and physically mother, who is in the apartment with her son Arthur. Sophie Dumont is Arthur's love interest, who is a single mother that also lives in the same apartment with Arthur. I find it funny that Zazie Beetz was Domino in Deadpool 2, which means that she too is one of those actresses who appeared in both Marvel and DC. Thomas Wayne is Bruce Wayne's father, who is a billionaire that is running for mayor of Gotham City, and unlike the comics, he plays a role in the Joker's origin in this film. By the way, Bruce Wayne, who is of course Batman, is in this movie as a young boy. Todd Phillips, who directed Road Trip, The Hangover, and Due Date, did a very wonderful job directing this movie, especially he made this film very realistic, moody, and intense. Although Todd Phillips is known for making comedy films, it is very interesting to see him to direct a serious movie. The music of this film sounds very dark, heart-pounding, and haunting. Overall, this is a great movie about the Joker. It is definitely one of the darkest films I had ever seen. It is also one of the best R-rated comic book movies I have seen since Logan. I actually like this movie more than Venom from last year. Unlike most films based on a DC Comics, this is no entertaining movie. This is a dark, serious movie. Although the late Heath Ledger is still the best Joker for me, I am so glad that they cast Joaquin Phoenix for playing the Joker. Based on Phoenix's marvelous performance as the Joker, I think he could win or at least get nominated for Best Actor at the Oscars, even though Joaquin Phoenix himself did not like the Oscars. Anyway, if you're a fan of DC Comics, go see it. However, I do not recommend you show this to kids because it's too violent, dark, depressing, and sensitive. So yeah, obviously this is not a child-friendly type of movie. So I give this movie 4 out of 5 nuclear bombs.